Done it.
All right, so we have started the recording. So
Yeah,
now
yeah.
what is that we are going to do is like we are going to install Exchange on a server. Now for that, what are the prerequisites we require is like first we need to have the latest .NET framework. So that's what I asked you
Okay.
to download. So first install the .NET framework, the 4.8 version. Run the exe file.
Yeah.
So run the exe file, which is the .NET.
It's extracting now.
Sorry, what happened? Extracting now. Okay.
It is extracting. Yeah, yeah,
Okay, good. So that's an installer. So you can install it, and
yeah,
after, so it's like a sequence. Okay, it's not a perfect sequence, but you can, its recommended sequence is like first install .NET, second install the UCMA, and then go with the
yeah.
Exchange. And there is one more thing that you need to install it, which I will tell you later. Okay, because like
Okay.
what I'm planning is like the Exchange installation. Even if you don't know that what needs to be installed, the Exchange
Yeah,
installation will guide you that what is that you need to install. So that is also we will be experiencing it. That also we will be seeing it, so that you will get an idea that even if you don't know what to install,
yeah.
Exchange is going to guide you in a better way.
Okay.
So first let's complete this .NET 4.8.
Ah, I'm installing.
Okay. And let me know when the installation is done, because the screen is refreshing slowly for me.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. I will. I will intimate you on the chat.
Is that stuck during installation or is it moving? Because it should not take so much time.
Yeah, it is.
How much RAM is allocated?
I think. Pardon?
How much RAM is
Oh,
allocated?
8 GB.
Oh, only 8 GB.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. You know what?
We need more.
Yes, we need more. So when this .NET is installed and anyways we are going to restart, right? So that time please shut it down, and if possible give
Yeah.
16 or 24. We have
And
the amount of RAM, right?
yeah, I can give.
Okay, give it as 24. Let's see.
Yeah. It's completed.
Okay. So wait. Please finish it. And is your Exchange installation completed? I mean,
Yeah.
Exchange download completed?
Yes. Everything is completed now.
Okay. So now shut down this VM. Say restart later.
Yeah.
So shut down this VM and increase the RAM also, and then start it up.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah. Because Exchange requires good amount of RAM. So if the RAM is less, it will install, but it won't perform well. That's the problem. Now install UCME.
UCMA is must.
Sorry,
This UCMA is a must.
UCMA is a compulsory one. Yes. So all these three things,
Compulsory.
yeah. So these three things are compulsory. First is your .NET framework. Second is your UCMA, and third, one more thing is compulsory, which it has Visual Studio C++ redistributable, which I'm going to install.
Okay.
Yeah, which I'm going to install it as a part of the Exchange installation. When you are installing the Exchange, it will prompt you and it will tell you that you need this. So like that, we are going to
Yeah.
experience it and we are going to see it.
Okay.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
complete.
Hmm.
Now Exchange.
Yes. Now double click on the Exchange disk image file that will auto mount and it will extract it.
So open.
No, just hit enter, automatically it will do the job. It will extract it. Yeah, now go to the end of it. Go to the end of that list, you will see something called as setup.exe. Go to the end of the list.
Yeah.
You will have something
Setup
called as
application.
setup.exe. So let it give you the.
This is the one, sir. Okay. Yeah, now it's moving. Okay. Connect to the internet and check for updates, or do not
Okay.
check.
Do not check for updates. Do not check for updates.
Yeah, it's copying files.
Okay.
What is the basic difference between 16 and 19?
See, everything is almost the same, but from 16 onwards, the cloud connectivity has been improvised. And
Okay.
actually speaking, there is not much difference. So
Okay.
many companies who are using 16, they are not moving to 19. They're happy to stay in 16 itself.
Yeah, because we have a requirement. We have to, one of our client want to move from 2010 to 2019.
That's what new customers we want to move to 19, but the 16 customers they won't move it. So in the sense, like if you want a difference, I will send you a article that will have the difference between 16 and 19, but not major changes. Very minimal changes. That too on internal engine on the exchange engine only there are changes, but nothing for the administrator or the portal. Not much differences.
Okay. So we are recommending 2016, but
16 is very stable. They can definitely, but if they are really willing to go to 19 itself, like you can install 19 itself. Not a big deal.
if there is this exchanges workloads are all moving to the cloud, is it true, or you
Yeah,
are in the field, right? You can see
that's the truth actually. Whole nowadays exchange administrators job is becoming because everything is moving to Office 365 nowadays.
yeah.
So
So there is
now,
a real momentum, right?
correct, yeah. So it is good to learn. It's good to know. Uh, it's good to know the Office 365 technology also.
So how is it? It's drastically different than the exchange.
No, it's not. It's not different than exchange. It is the same. In fact, it is lesser than the on-premises exchange. But what is the advantage is that Office 365 is a bundled package. Okay, so that
Yeah,
package
yeah.
contains Office, contains SharePoint, Teams, OneDrive for business. So many things are bundled into one thing. So that's why many companies are going for it. That is the advantage of it.
Yeah, because it's one of our client. They have 400 mailboxes.
Mhm.
So they have in premises, and they are now they are want to see what is or go to 365.
How many mailboxes you said?
400, sir.
400 mailbox. The good choice is to go with Office 365 only. Because for
So
400
it is good for
because for 400 mailbox you have to install a server, you have to install AD, you have to install Exchange, and you have to manage it. It's better directly go with Office 365 itself.
yeah, because they have they are running 2010 already.
Oh, is it okay? Fine. So from 2010, if they want to go for it, then yeah, if they really want to be on premises, they can be on premises. You can have 2019. If not, they can directly go to Office 365 itself. So what is the window you're seeing now, Ismail?
Pardon?
What is the installation window you're seeing now?
Introduction to welcome to Microsoft Exchange Server.
Okay, good. So
Next,
click on next.
the license agreement. Next,
Yeah, click on next. License, click on accept.
yeah, done. Recommended settings.
So click on don't use recommended settings. We will decide what is that you wanted.
Exchange Server will automatically check online for
So in
solution
the sense,
for
like,
and
so now you know
providing
what?
feedback or
If you
do not.
say if you say don't use recommended setting, you have to install all the features required. But if you go for recommended settings, it will automatically install it. But now, what is it saying? Exchange Server will automatically check online for solutions when encountering, right? That we don't want it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why I'm telling that we need to go for don't use recommended settings. We will do it.
Okay, perfect. So next.
Okay, so here we are going to install a mailbox role. So in 2016, what has happened is like the roles are consolidated. Okay, the roles are now
Okay.
consolidated, and there are only two roles in 2016. One is your mailbox role, and one is your edge transport role. So do you know the real requirement of edge transport role? Edge.
No.
Okay.
I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is
Can you
the?
explain these three?
Yeah,
There are
sure.
three options: mailbox role, management tools, and edge transport role.
Correct. So what is that? Okay, I'll do one thing. Let the installation start. I will explain you that one, because like not only two, there are 5 roles that I want to explain to you, which I will explain it. So now do one thing. Check this mailbox role and check the last checkbox. Automatically install Windows Server roles and features that are required to install server. Check
Okay.
the first one.
Yeah, first one checked. And the automatically install Windows Server rules and features.
Yeah.
That
Correct.
also?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Can I first next?
Yes. Click on next. Now click on next. So you have good amount of space available, right? Okay, good. So
Yeah.
click on next.
Yeah. Specify the name of this exchange organization.
That is okay. Let that be a first organization itself. Click on next.
Yeah. There is an apply Active Directory split permission security model to exchange organization. No need, right?
No, don't check that.
Malware protection settings.
Okay, disable it.
Disable.
Say yes. Say yes for it.
Yes, right?
Yeah, choose yes.
Yeah. So readiness checking it is.
Okay, good.
What is mean by this first organization?
Okay, so which means like this. It is in AD there is something called as default site, right? The same way here also
Yeah,
it is
correct.
creating something called as the default name of this exchange organization is going to be the first organization, which means even if you have multiple exchange servers, everything will be within this first organization. That's the idea. Like
Oh,
within one site we
so we
have domains
can
like that.
group the exchange servers
Yeah, we can have
into
multiple exchange servers.
organizations.
Yes, you can group it in one organization. Okay, so now actually it is checking for this prerequisites, right? So now
Yeah.
we have not installed one prerequisite. Okay, purposefully we have not
Okay.
installed a prerequisite, so it will check and tell that this particular prerequisite is not available.
Okay. So what are these roles, sir? Transport role,
Don't worry,
mailbox
I'll
role,
tell
and
you.
this
I'm going to
management
explain
role.
that. I'm going to explain that. So I'm after after the installation has started, right? It will take minimum one
Yeah.
hour. It will minimum take 1 to 1.5 hours to complete. So till the time, I will explain you all this theory part, because when the screen is sharing, right, I don't know, my system is becoming very slow. Whatever I'm talking, whatever you are talking, it is
Yeah, yeah,
voice is breaking actually. So once if you stop
yeah.
sharing, means
Because
like things will be smooth.
yeah, yeah, sure. Okay.
So how much RAM you allocated?
24 GB.
Okay, good. Okay, it is at 45 percentage, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, it's 90 percentage completed, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it has not installed. Okay, might be it is installed already. Visual C++ is one prerequisite. Okay, I thought that will prompt it, but that's okay. It has not prompted. But I will give you the actual name that it will be asking. Okay, but now if you notice, everything is warning only. There is no error. Okay, if you notice, there are only warning. There are no errors. So which means like we are good. So if you click on install, it is going to install the install the exchange on this particular system. So go ahead, click on install.
Okay.
Click on install. We clicked on install. So Ismail, have you clicked on install? Yeah, so meantime, what is that I'm going to tell you is that let me talk about the roles and how things changed from the old version to the new version. That is what I'm going to tell you. Okay, for that, let me share my screen. Are you able to see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. In Exchange 2007 and in Exchange 2010, there were like 5 roles in Exchange. Okay, what are the 5 roles? Where first is the mailbox role, second is the client access role, third is the hub transport role. Now the fourth one is called as the unified messaging role. Fifth one is called as the edge transport role. So these are the roles which are introduced from 2007, and in 2007 and 2010 this is how the roles are divided. So now what is the meaning of a mailbox role, or what is the job it really does is like, this is the role which holds the mailboxes and mailbox databases. Okay, this role was only responsible for managing and maintaining the mailboxes and the mailbox databases. Okay, that was the real job of, and also that was the real job of the mailbox role in the older version. Now what was the purpose of the client access is like, by the name itself, what is the job of the client is like, it was the connectivity with the client. It was having the connectivity with the client, which means like, what are the different client connectivities like OWA, Outlook. Okay, during the older times it was the say like the mobile connectivity was not that popular, but still ActiveSync. Okay, all these connections, okay, it doesn't matter whatever you are connecting, however you are connecting via any of the client, the connection will go only via the client access role. That is the concept. That is the job of something called as a client access role. The third one was called as the hub transport role. What is the meaning of the hub transport role, or what is the job of the hub transport role is like, all sort of transportation, all email transportation.
Okay.
is done by this hub transport role, which means like both the internal email and external relay, which means relay means what? Passing the email to the next person. External email relay, both are
Okay.
done by this hub transport rule. Okay. Let's say if user
Okay.
one is trying to send an email to user two, how it will be done,
Okay.
who it will do is like the hub transport role will only do it. That is the idea.
Okay.
Okay. Now the next one is called as the unified messaging role. So voice messages or like voice calls or like automatic reading of messages. For example, what is the job of this unified messaging role is like, for example, if someone is sending you a voicemail, someone is trying to call you, you have not picked up, so they are leaving your voicemail. Now what will happen is like that voicemail will come to you as a email, as a mp3 file. Okay,
Mm.
that role, and also like the voice integration. Now actually we all know that unified messaging is all taken care by the Skype for Business and also Teams now. No, but there is a feature available in Exchange, but not many companies use it. But the name of that role is the
Mm.
unified messaging, which takes care of
Okay.
the voice roles. Okay, and also voice integrations. Okay, say like anything, someone trying to call someone or someone trying to leave a voice message, all those things are taken care by the unified messaging role. So what is this H transport role? Is the email firewall role, which means this the server which is holding the H transport role will be placed outside your network. Okay, it is like a email firewall, or a, let's say you can say like a spam filter, or say like first point of contact for external emails. Okay, this server is going to act like a first point of contact for any email which is coming from outside. Okay, that is the
So it's
job.
like a
Mhm.
it's like a email gateway, which is this cloud server. This cloud this one cloud guys are
Correct.
filtering the
Yeah, same.
spam and all.
Yeah, have you heard of EOP?
Oh,
Exchange Online Protection. Have you heard of it?
yeah. No,
Yeah.
no.
No, I'll tell you. I will tell you later. So EOP is the
Yeah.
one which is filtering all the emails, all the spam emails which is getting delivered to Office 365. EOP is a Microsoft product. It is protecting
Okay.
all the users' mailboxes from receiving the unwanted spam emails. So that's why, and that is a cloud product. This is a on-premises product.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So now,
So it is basically if
mhm,
we place it, we will place in the just on the
outside the network.
perimeter.
Yes, exactly. You said it right. Yes, you will be placing outside the network, preferably on the perimeter network, so that it will be on the perimeter network, or we also call it as a DMZ zone,
Yeah.
demilitarized
Dim-
demilitarized zone, right?
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
will be completely kept outside. So this is how the five roles were there in 2007 and 2010. Now, what happened in 2013? What happened in Exchange 2013 is that role consolidation happened. What is the meaning of role consolidation? Is like your hub transport role and your unified messaging role has been merged with mailbox role, which means the mailbox role is now doing the job of the hub transport role, and the unified messaging role altogether called as a mailbox role. That is the real thing of called as the role consolidation in 2013. If someone is telling like explain about the role consolidation happened in 2013 means they are expecting this answer, which means what are the roles merged together is the meaning that they are trying to understand. So in which the mailbox role plus the hub transport role plus the unified messaging role all together became as a mailbox role. Okay, which means like whatever the job I told over here, everything is done by one role now called as the mailbox role. Okay, what is the reason? What is the reason that Microsoft has done this? What Microsoft is trying to tell, because like, for example, you have 5 different roles like this. So what is that organizations are doing is like for high availability, okay, for high availability feature, what is that many organizations are doing is like they are installing 5 servers, okay, 5 servers
Yeah.
holding different roles.
Fine.
Okay, like the same FSMO roles in AD. In AD, there are FSMO roles available, right? So, like the if
Yeah.
for a better high availability, what is that we do is like we we keep those roles on a different server. That's what we do it, right? Same over here.
Yeah.
Many companies are using 5 different servers for keeping different roles. So for because of that, the costing was becoming high.
Yes.
So that's why what Microsoft thought like only if, because they don't, because many companies will definitely complain to Microsoft, right, saying like why are you keeping like this. So that's why what they did was like they merged they merged the roles into one, so that now this Exchange 2013 is having only 3 roles. So from 5 servers it is reduced to 3 servers. Okay,
Mm.
to reduce
You won't allow to install different roles in same server?
You can install it, but organizations
Yeah.
prefer high availability, right? So that's why they prefer to keep
Yeah.
everything separately. So many organizations were investing more on that, on individual roles. That is the one.
Ah.
Okay, you can install. You can now in our scenario, what is happening is like all the roles are going like not all the roles actually,
Putting.
uh, these 4 roles. Okay, you cannot have these 4, you cannot have H transport role with any other role, because as I told you it is going to be placed on
Oh.
the perimeter network. So which means like all these 4 roles are now going to be installed on a single server in your system, because everything is now merged into mailbox.
Yeah.
That's the reason. Okay, to reduce the
Yeah.
number of servers. That's the reason why Microsoft went for a role consolidation. Okay. The second role in 2013 is called as the client access role. So client access role is also doing the same job of the client connectivity. Same job. Mailbox is only doing some extra job, but client connectivity is done by the client access role, and there is no change on it. So same as previous
Before.
version. Again, the H transport role is also same as previous version. No, which means like in 2013, 5 roles from the previous version has been reduced to 3 roles in 2013. Getting the point?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what happened in 2016? Exchange
Yeah.
2016, further role consolidation happened. Okay, further role consolidation happened, and what they did was like they merged the mailbox role and the client access role, which means now the same mailbox is also doing the job of the client access role also, which means all these four roles are merged into one, and it is doing all the jobs. So now that's why you might have noticed that there is only one mailbox role and the H transport role. That's it,
Bro.
right? That is the reason behind it. So now the second is H transport role, because H transport role is something different, right? It is sitting outside the
Yeah, yeah.
network. It cannot merge with anyone, so that's why it has to be kept separately. So that is the reason. So that is how the roles are, the roles were there in Exchange. They all merged together now, doing the same job in one name called as a mailbox role.
So, sir, this edge transport role only filter the mail coming from outside domain, right?
Okay, not only mail filter, I will tell you the job of probably jobs done by H transport role. I'll tell you what all it does. It does something called as
Yeah.
spam filtering. Okay, say like malware filter. Okay, and then it does like virus, malware, virus, all those filtering. It does it. It also does
Yeah.
something called as recipient verification. What do you mean by? What do you think is recipient verification?
So the SMTP
Mhm.
server who is sending the mail.
No, actually, what? So see, this is like a watchman. This is like a gate.
Yes.
This is like a gate watchman, right? If you
Yes.
if you if you say if you tell to the watchman that hey, I want to meet so and so person, he will tell that whether that person is inside or not, right? So that is
Ah,
the
okay.
that is the concept of recipient verification. If you are sending an email to user@company.com, only if that user is available, it will send it. That concept is called as a recipient verification.
Wait.
Okay,
Okay.
so because only if it's a valid recipient, it will send it. If not, why it will send it? It will block it. If you're sending it to a wrong person, it will definitely block it. So these are the job which is done by the spam, done by the H transport rule. So
So basically, this role we are giving to the specialized companies, cloud companies, right?
I'll tell you
My
something.
understanding is correct.
No,
Yeah.
actually speaking, not many companies use the H transport role from Microsoft. They all go with the third-party softwares like Proofpoint, Cisco Gateway, Mimecast, like
Yeah.
that. They go for a
Yeah. My
third part. Yeah, they go for a third-party, very specific security, like email firewall softwares. They go for it.
yeah. So basically, they will this Minecast and all. They will install their software on premises or all in their cloud.
No, actually, as far as I not worked on Mimecast, but I worked on Proofpoint. Proofpoint and
Ah,
the Cisco Ironport, I worked on it. So
Ironport. Yes.
generally speaking, they have their own appliances.
Okay.
They have their own machines, and they just ship it, and you take it and connect it with your environment and then configure it. Whereas the Cisco Ironport is an application which can be installed.
Yeah. So I came across this Minecast, but um, I'm not so sure whether they have the appliance on premises or they have. It's like they are working as a gateway. Their servers in their cloud, and everything is passing through them.
Nowadays everyone is having a cloud copy of it, which means like we cannot really comment on it like how they are currently using. But yeah, knowing, depending upon the scenario and the situation, we need to learn that.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
So technically, conceptually, every mail will have to pass through this edge transport server.
Compulsorily, all the
Compulsory, right?
all the external email which is coming into our environment, and all the emails going out of the environment, both will be going via the edge transport rule.
Okay.
So that's why I call it as a
So we
gatekeeper.
can gatekeeper. So if we don't use the Microsoft one, so we have to maintain that one in our infrastructure. Whether it is
You have to maintain the third
on-premise
party
or on
one.
cloud, it is a must.
Yeah, you have to maintain it. You have to pay
Okay.
extra. You have to pay extra for it, right? Because you're going for a third party one. So you have to pay extra for
Yeah,
that
yeah.
service also to that third party guy.
Okay.
All right. So this is the history. This is the history of exchange, like how things are done. Okay. So now what is that now? What is that I'm going to tell you? Like, please drop me a message when that 15 steps are done. Okay.
Okay.
And yeah, so
Yeah.
we are good for the day. Tomorrow when it is installed, right, let's get started doing some task on Exchange. I will tell you how to connect to the Exchange management console, and we can do more and more things
Yeah.
on that.
Okay.
All right. Okay, Ismail. I'll send you this document, and you can keep it for your reference, and I
Yeah.
will send you the recording also.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll talk to you tomorrow evening, same time, 7 o'clock or 7:30. I will talk to you.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, Ismail. Thank you. Allah Hafiz. Bye.